First, let me congratulate and express my deep appreciation to the government of Algeria for organizing and hosting this groundbreaking international conference on the crimes of colonialism in Africa, and for inviting and facilitating CARICOM at this important meeting. I'm also delighted to deliver remarks on behalf of the Caribbean community in this high-level ministerial session. Most people don't realize that the Caribbean zone is the most colonized zone in the world. We still have 20 colonies, British, American, Dutch, and French. So it's important that CARICOM participates in this event. This convening is both critical and timely as Africa and her diaspora, or global Africa, are strengthening their collaboration to seek restitution, compensation, and satisfaction for the profound injustice and crimes against humanity committed for over 4 centuries in Africa and the Americas. These include over 300 years of the dehumanizing trade in enslaved Africans and chattel enslavement, followed by over 100 years of debilitating colonialism, an experience shared by global Africa, and which is the focus of our deliberation in this conference. These pernicious systems violated the fundamental human rights of Africans and demand immediate and ongoing redress. The many areas in which CARICOM has called for repair are outlined in the internationally acclaimed CARICOM 10-point plan for reparatory justice, which calls for an apology, repatriation programs to Africa, an indigenous peoples development program, establishment of cultural institutions, restitution of cultural property, cultural reconnection, and psychological healing. We also call for development through technology, debt cancellation, and monetary compensation. CARICOM has long held the conviction that a call for reparations will not only be the most consequential human rights movement of the 21st century, but will also propel a new phase of strengthened advocacy towards a successful claim when Africa and the African Union are fully on board with the reparations agenda. Therefore, the declaration by the African Union of 2025 as a year for justice in Africans and people of African descent through reparations was both historic and a game changer for the reparations agenda. For CARICOM, slavery was the world's first nuclear bomb. Colonialism was and is the world's second nuclear bomb. And its afterpath, racism, is the world's third nuclear bomb. We see reparations as the legal, moral, political, social, cultural, diplomatic, and development crises of our times. CARICOM welcomes the African Union in its partnership to pursue reparations. On 7th September 2025, the Second African Union Caribbean Summit of Heads of Government was hosted by the government of Ethiopia and Addis Ababa with the overarching theme of transcontinental partnership in pursuit of reparatory justice for Africans and people of African descent through reparations, where heads of government from both regions agreed to implement a number of strategic initiatives to demonstrate solidarity and unity of purpose. These agreements include establishing a joint mechanism to advance the reparations agenda and articulate a common position in Africa and CARICOM, and to give full support to the restitution of cultural and religious artifacts, among other things. Progress was made in advancing the reparations agenda in the Commonwealth at the Summit of Heads of Government in Samoa in October 2024. Heads agreed to the inclusion of a communique of 2 paragraphs that acknowledge enslavement and the transatlantic trafficking of Africans as crimes against humanity and recognize that the time for reparations and meaningful discussion are here. Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting in Antigua and Barbuda in November 2026 will ensure that this topic is included in the agenda so that concrete actions can be agreed upon to advance dialogue within the Commonwealth. Redress for underdevelopment orchestrated under colonialism and related during social and economic harms, as well as the imperative of decolonization, is of paramount importance to the Caribbean. As I mentioned, we remain the most colonized region in the world, with 20 remaining colonies of Britain, France, the Netherlands, and the United States among us. The CARICOM Reparations Commission intends to put renewed focus on this issue in 2026 and beyond to ensure that colonized people in our region exercise their fundamental and inalienable right to development and self-determination. This is urgent and overdue, bolstered by the international community's observance of the 4th International Decade for the Eradication of Colonization, 2021 to 23rd. We're pleased to be invited here, and we look forward to partnership and solidarity in the quest for reparations for slavery and colonialism. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr.